was the true architect behind Hitler's occult ideas? What secret society stood behind the Nazis? And why do all roads lead to Istanbul? Official history says it all began in Germany, but according to some researchers, the story began much earlier, in the final years of the Ottoman Empire, in Istanbul, in Cairo, and in secret gatherings hidden deep within Bursa. In July of 1900, a young German arrived on Ottoman soil. His name was Rudolf von Sebottendorf, but that was not his real name. His birth name was Adam Alfred Rudolf Glauer. Years later, he would become known as one of the shadowy figures behind one of the darkest ideologies in modern history, because according to some researchers, the hidden side of Nazism was shaped in his hands. So what was Sebottendorf searching for in the Ottoman Empire? According to certain accounts, he first traveled to Cairo, and there he met the people who would change his life forever. Sources claimed that through circles connected to the house of Saxe-Coburg-Gotha, Sebottendorf was introduced to Hussein Fahri Pasha, a member of the Ottoman Egyptian elite. He eventually began working under him, and this is where the story begins to turn darker, because according to Sebottendorf's own writings, Hussein Fahri Pasha was not merely a statesman. He was also connected to esoteric circles, mystical traditions, hidden teachings, and secret spiritual networks. Some accounts claim Sebottendorf was gradually drawn into occult teachings stretching between Cairo, Istanbul, and Bursa. In Istanbul, he entered Masonic lodges, encountered Bektashi circles, studied astrology, alchemy, numerology, and sacred geometry. But the most mysterious chapter began in Bursa. According to Sebottendorf's own accounts, he underwent a secret initiation lasting 12 months, and during that time, he was instructed by 12 different Halife Babas. Some esoteric sources claim he learned symbolic mysticism, sacred numbers, astrological systems, and rituals representing inner transformation. And after those nights, he was no longer the same man. Later, he was reportedly admitted into the Istanbul lodge known as Drei Lichter am Bosporus, 3 lights on the Bosphorus. But this was no ordinary Masonic lodge. Some researchers believed that within its walls, Hermeticism, Kabbalah, Rosicrucian teachings, and the ideas of the Rosy Cross Brotherhood were deeply influential. It was here, they claim, that Sebottendorf encountered teachings that fused Eastern mysticism with Western occultism. Another story takes us back to Bursa, at Hussein Fahri Pasha's estate. Sebottendorf allegedly studied Kabbalah under a mysterious rabbi known as Termudi. According to these accounts, he learned Hebrew letter mysticism, sacred number systems, hidden geometric proportions, and symbolic cosmology. Over time, he was transformed into something far beyond an ordinary man. He entered aristocratic circles. Some sources claim that through the Constantinian Order of St. George, he met Heinrich von Sebottendorf. Through this network, he reportedly joined the Constantinian Order itself, and later he was allegedly adopted by Heinrich von Sebottendorf. From that point on, he began using the name Rudolf Freiherr von Sebottendorf. But the story was far from over. In 1918, a mysterious organization emerged in Munich, and Sebottendorf was one of its founders, the Thule Society. But what exactly did Thule mean? In ancient Greek and Roman sources, Thule was described as a mysterious island at the edge of the far north. Some called it Ultima Thule, the uttermost north, To some, it was a frozen, lost civilization. To others, Hyperborea. And to some occult thinkers, it was believed to be the ancient homeland of the Aryan race. The Thule Society chose this name deliberately because they saw themselves as the heirs of primordial northern wisdom. Thule was not merely a society, it was the womb of an ideology. Within its teachings existed Germanic mysticism, Aryan supremacy theories, runic symbolism, sacred solar emblems, Hyperborean myths, and legends of lost northern civilizations. According to them, the Aryan race came from the north, and at the center of it all stood a single symbol, the swastika. Today, most people associate it only with Nazi Germany, but the symbol itself was thousands of years older. The word swastika came from Sanskrit, meaning well-being, good fortune, and auspiciousness. The symbol appeared across India, Tibet, Central Asia, ancient Europe, and even among old Turkic and Norse motifs. In many cultures, it represented the sun, cosmic cycles, the wheel of life, and eternal motion. Some symbols never die. They simply find new owners. The Thule Society reinterpreted the swastika. To them, it became the emblem of ancient Aryan power. Some researchers believe the Thule Society was deeply intertwined with Freemasonry, Rosicrucianism, Hermeticism, Ariosophy, and occult numerology. Their gatherings reportedly emphasized black sun symbolism, runic signs, Germanic mythology, and mystical leadership. Soon, the Thule Circle began forming a political movement, the DAP, the German Workers' Party. And that movement would eventually evolve into one of the most feared political forces in history. One day, a young man entered one of their meetings, Adolf Hitler. Hitler was not directly a student of Sebottendorf, but the ideological atmosphere he entered had already been shaped by Thule. And perhaps the most fascinating part is this. Years later, Sebottendorf openly admitted it in his own writings. In his 1933 book, Before Hitler Came, he wrote, "The first people to reach Hitler were Thule members." And he went even further. Hitler fulfilled what we had fought for. But Sebottendorf was not merely an organizer. He also left behind numerous occult books. According to some researchers, these books attempted to merge Western occultism with the hidden mystical traditions of the Ottoman world. And perhaps the hidden side of Nazism was first born not on battlefields, but inside books. But soon, Sebottendorf's writings and the Thule connection faded into the shadows. Did the Nazi regime want the true origins of Thule to remain hidden? Years passed. Sebottendorf was pushed aside. According to official history, he died by suicide in the Bosphorus in 1945. But then, something strange happened. In 1957, Turkish police records suddenly revealed the name Rudolf von Sebottendorf. The documents claimed he arrived in Antalya, traveled to Adana, stayed at the Cumhuriyet Hotel, was accompanied by 2 Germans, and later departed for Egypt through Syria. He was allegedly 82 years old at the time, so was it possible? Did Sebottendorf truly die in 1945? Or did he continue living within the dark intelligence networks of the post-war world? And perhaps the real origins of Nazism did not begin in Berlin, but in Istanbul. Perhaps history is far more complicated than we have been told. And sometimes the roots of the darkest ideologies remain hidden within invisible mystical networks? Real history, or the greatest occult legend of the modern age? You decide.